Hello, welcome to Souls Intersect. This reading is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising signs, and it is for May of 2017. I apologize for not getting your April reading out. I had a very overwhelming month of April, work-wise and health-wise, and I decided at this point to just push forward with May. And also, please excuse my voice. I'm still a bit congested. Okay, so let me take you through the cards. You have, from the top left, the Knight of Rods, the Six of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. The Five of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. And then the Star, the Knight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. So quite a few swords cards, especially on this right side of the reading of the spread. I really like the Three of Cups coming up in the center of the reading. It really offers this bright spot of hope, and it doesn't necessarily look like there's anything incredibly negative happening around the outside, but it seems a bit chaotic. I'm sensing some suspicion about something and a worry around that with the Seven and Eight of Swords. I feel like you're caught up somehow in overanalyzing something or suspecting something and kind of going over and over again the scenarios of how something might have happened or is going to happen. It feels like it's involving another person. It could be this Knight of Rods person. That feels the most to me like another person in the reading. So in the top left there, Knight of Rods or Wands, I see him facing the Six of Pentacles. My sense, and below it, the Five of Pentacles. So we're talking about someone in your life who is focused on something else. So while I feel like you may be focused on trying to figure out what's going on with them in your head, possibly due to a lack of information, they are very focused on a work situation or a financial situation. And it does feel like the outcome will eventually be positive. I feel like they're making this shift from this Five to the Six of Pentacles. So balancing things out that may have been a bit chaotic for them in that area of their life. This could be a fire sign, but I see them coming up as this Knight. It could be male or female. For me, the suits are more to do with the qualities, characteristics. And so this fire energy is feeling to me like this person is in a position, especially with this work topic that seems to be coming up, I feel like they are in a position where their drive and desires and motivations are in contrast with the work that they're doing or the position that they're currently in. I feel like they're a little bit stuck, but if you look at those four cards, you also have the Three of Cups in there. So I sense that there will be a positive outcome eventually. I feel like they're shifting things around and going to go through a transition. I feel that you're being represented by this Knight of Swords, with the King of Swords being where you want to head. So this sense of evolving from the Knight to the King for you. It is in your element, but I really feel like a lot of it has to do with this mental space that you're in right now. Some, again, suspicion, concern, worry, maybe a little bit of obsessing about what's going on with this other person, especially. It could be other things too in your life, but it feels like it's a lot to do with that. My sense is that you have been spending a lot of time trying to figure out what's going on with this other person, and in the meantime, rather than having downtime or focusing on something productive, that it's almost like you've found other things to worry about on top of it. It's like a pattern of worrying that you get into that energy. And even if you're not thinking about that other person, you find other things to worry about. And I don't mean that you're not being productive at all. Just saying that there's those moments where you get into a state of worrying or obsessing, or getting kind of stuck in your thoughts. And at those periods, it just seems like it's all you can do to add on more and more to worry about. I also feel that for you, though, with the Three of Cups coming in too, that the outcome for this is going to be positive. My sense is that not to add onto your worry, beating yourself up about worrying, because I feel like your suspicions, the reason that it's being triggered, all this worry and overthinking and suspicion, partly is because of something. And that doesn't, I don't say that to make you worry more or suspect something negative necessarily. My sense is that something will emerge that will help you understand why this was triggered. And that, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be justified in some really negative worry you've been having. I just get the sense that I actually feel like it will be positive. You'll see something coming out that helps you understand where this was all coming from. And I think it will actually make you feel better, even if it does reveal something either about this other person or something going on behind the scenes that isn't necessarily the most positive thing. I feel like you'll be relieved because you'll understand why, in a way, you've been worrying so much. So I haven't talked about the star. Let me tune in a bit more to that. I feel like there's this overarching message with this reading about healing. The star really seems to contrast a lot of what's going on. So I feel that there's a couple of bottlenecks that you're going through and that this other person is going through, and it's linked somehow. I kind of feel like for a lot of you, it seems like you're out of contact with someone, as I mentioned before, or not on the same wavelength if you are in contact. And it just feels like this weird, distant period, like you're going through a bottleneck of some kind. And I do think that some understanding will come through, like I said, and I feel also that on the larger level, that with the star, that you'll also realize what this period was for, what its purpose was, and it feels like it has a lot to do with healing. And not just healing in this connection with this other person, but some sort of deep healing having to do with you. It may have something to do with trusting your intuition. Because part of that pattern feels like there's a suspicion, and then you kind of doubt the suspicion, and then you beat yourself up for having the suspicion. That's just an example, if it is in fact a suspicion. And like I said, you might actually find out that you're justified in it in some way. And so there's this realization also on top of that to not doubt yourself. Excuse me. To not doubt yourself and to not continue to beat yourself up. And I feel like that's going to be a really crucial point for you. And then, of course, the star is also Aquarius. And that King of Swords is a very, an Aquarian it can be an Aquarian who's very experienced and knowledgeable or has gotten to a point of mastery in all things mental and to do with communication. So it feels like it could be a pretty big turning point for you that can open you up to what's in the center here, this Three of Cups, some happier home life energy, pleasant social energy, maybe with this other person, but also with others. So I see you emerging from a state of some chaotic things happening at the mental level, but gaining some knowledge about it and having some realizations about it that are going to put you in a place that's more advantageous for you and where you can be more yourself. That's what I really feel like with this star and the King of Swords. It's where you're headed, and it feels like it's going to open up some really good positive things. Okay, Aquarians, have a great month of May. If you're interested in a private reading, please email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com, or the address to my site is below. And if you go there, you can book directly, or you can read more about my services if you're interested. I want to add that my past life reading is now $35. A lot of clients really benefit from it. It's a non-tarot service. I do past life readings by accessing the Akashic Records. So if you've been wondering about a past life, you can check out more about that on my site or book one if you're interested. All right, take care. Thank you.